Manchester City won the Premier League in dramatic fashion at the weekend. They came back from 2-0 down to beat Aston Villa 3-2. Now, celebrations were in full flow over the last 24 hours as the club put on an open-top bus parade with the trophy as well.
Here at the Etihad, Fernandinho has that trophy in his hands. Up it goes! And up go the fireworks, up go the flames. Manchester City win an 8th title in their history.
In the world, who beat you 1v1? Mbappe? Neymar? Jack?
Me, when I was at Aston Villa, that's why Pep signed me.
I don't understand what anyone said there.
No, no.
But it sounds like they're having a lovely time, doesn't it? Okay, just Jack Grealish, after a few drinks, claiming that he's the only man in the world to beat Kyle Walker in a one-on-one. Wow, is he faster than Kyle Walker then? Is that when was he saying when he was at Villa? I don't believe it.
I'm not sure he is.
Kyle Walker is speedy, isn't he? Absolutely rapid. Let's get more on these celebrations. Super Sam back in the room, mate.
Hi guys, yes, they won the league, didn't they? The most dramatic fashion, coming from 2 down to beat Aston Villa through 3-2. And celebrations have been heavy since Sunday afternoon. We heard there an open top bus parade with the trophy yesterday. And guys, I think it's fair to say that a certain Jack Grealish has stole the show. I think he's had a drink in hand every single second of the day since Sunday at around 6 p.m, enjoying winning his first major trophy. And while on the bus yesterday and being filmed by the club, he had this to say about one of his teammates.
I said earlier, I'm the coach. It's been brilliant to win my first title. I want to thank everyone, but the main person that I want to thank is Bernardo Silva for coming off in the 70th minute, because he was miles off it yesterday.
I think it's fair to say it sounds like Jack Grealish has enjoyed himself. Croaky voice, Jack. But it got us thinking, who does a worse for wear Jack Grealish sound like the most? How about Arthur Shelby?
OK, now, yesterday, as you all know, it was a terrible disaster. Look lively.
What about Ali McCoist to the start of yesterday's show?
Good morning, Laura. How are you?
Oh my God.
I know.
Better than you.
No, actually, Laura, I've booked a doctor's appointment with my throat. I feel absolutely fine. Viv's booked me a doctor's appointment.
Maybe we can go one better. What about the legend, Mr. Alan Brazil?
The Irish just stopped England. Let's say a very good morning to Harlequins and England scrum half, fly half. Danny Kerr joins us. Danny, a good morning.
Morning, lads. You all right?
Yeah, good, mate.
Danny Kerr, fly off scrubber.
I think it's fair to say Mr. Alan Brazil's got to be the most croaky there.
Oh, it's close.
Do you think?
I think it's close. I think I'm third, but I think Jack's had a good go at it.
We going Jack?
I think it's safe to say Jack's had a fair kick at the ball.
I think he's giving it a very good shot, isn't he?
He's given it a right boot around the place.
Oh, do you know what? I would love to be in those celebrations. Can you imagine? Oh, it must be absolutely incredible. Congratulations to all of them, of course. And for Jack on his first Premier League title, it must mean a lot, mustn't it? Biggest you've ever celebrated, Sam?
Probably at my bar mitzvah.
Really?
Yeah, that was a big night. Big night, isn't it? Turn 13 and everything. You give it the big one, absolutely.
I can't imagine you going mental. You must have gone crazy. Was there ice cream and crisps involved?
Ice cream, Fanta, Coca-Cola. It was a wild party. What about yourself? After winning the big one at the SJAs?
No, because I had work the next day, so I was like fairly reserved.
Last night?
No. Last night was a fairly heavy night, but I'm feeling great this morning. My voice actually isn't too bad in comparison to Ali McCoy's. I reckon Ali probably has had a fair few celebrations in his time, Ali.
Yeah, I didn't know you were out last night. Were you out last night?
I was hiding it well, wasn't I?
You were, you're doing well.
Aired by Sam. I don't even think our producer knows. No, he does.
That 20-minute nap you had and had to throw to the news.
It's going to go under the desk. I'll be back in just a moment. Who was the biggest party boy in your team, Ali?
Oh, we had a few.
Did you?
To be fair.
I bet you were one of them, right?
Yeah, but I mean, well, Gascoigne. Enjoy the party and enjoy the victory. But we did with a few. Gerrard enjoyed a party and a victory.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got to be very careful. I don't want to stick him.
I know, it sounds like you're being very reserved with this.
I've got to be.
Yeah.
I've got to be.
Listen, I wanted to address something because obviously there's been a little bit of conversation around Jack and how he settled in at City. I always feel like with these kind of players, it takes a little bit of time, doesn't it? Especially at City where you get rotated so much. Can it take a little while to find your feet and really, I suppose, get to the levels that you know you can get to?
I think he's done fine. I really do. I think he'll improve. I think next year he'll be better. I think the one thing that happens at City, which you touched on, they rotate, they do it wherever whether it's Bernardo Silva, Jesus, Foden, that's what they do. So there's no surprise that it's happening to Jack. Listen, I don't think he's been absolutely set the heather and fire and completely out of this world, but I think he's been fine. I think he's been good, and I definitely think he'll improve, and I think he'll be better next season.
Do you think, when we were talking about Haaland yesterday, I can't remember who we had on that was saying, if you think Kevin De Bruyne is good now, wait till he's got someone like a Haaland inside.
It was Noel, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. You're right. Right. What role do you think Jack will play next season?
In terms of his position in the team?
Yeah.
Because Noel was saying he prefers him more central, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I actually think it would suit him being more central, to be honest with you. They don't play with an out-and-out 10, but the one thing, when I've seen them, and I've seen them a few times this season, what they're excellent at is effectively just swapping positions, and they stay in positions, whereas with most teams, if you get caught out of position, you'll stay there for a minute and then get back to your position. City don't. They're really comfortable. I mean, Foden and Grealish and Silva, they just switch positions and they're happy playing there for 5-10 minutes. So I understand what Noel's saying. He probably might be more suited to playing more central rather than out on the left-hand side. But I definitely think, I mean, honestly, God, I think a lot of the criticism that he's had has been unfair, because I don't think he's been bad at all. I think he's been okay. I mean, as I said earlier, when you get into that side, you're surrounded with top players. You're going to get periods in and out the team. So he will improve. I think I'm really interested to see what City do next year, because they're not a team that, generally speaking, put an awful lot of crosses into the box. I think you would expect Liverpool to do that more. City try and play through you a little bit more than most teams. But with somebody like Haaland, you've clearly got the option of putting balls into the box from wider areas and they will attack them. And I expect them to do that a little bit more next year.
This is what Grealish had to say about his first season. He said, it was more difficult than I thought. I stepped out of my comfort zone. New changing room, new surroundings, new teammates. Harder than I thought, but this today makes up for it. That was during the celebrations yesterday. I know I can kick on, and certainly will. I feel I've played my part in certain games.
Yeah.
Little things like the goal at West Ham, I can kick on so much more. I know myself how much of a role I've got to play at this club. And I think he's absolutely right. I think under the guidance of Pep Guardiola, he will deploy him where he wants, settle him in, and like we say, it takes more than one season sometimes for players to get the grounding that they need. So next season will be very interesting at Manchester City with the new players that they've got coming in, and players like Jack who are going to I suppose flourish even more.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.